Imagine waking up to news that could completely reshape the future of XRP. Well, that moment is here. Just minutes ago, a development broke that every XRP holder needs to pay close attention to. We are talking about the entry of XRP into ETFs, exchange-traded funds, and the doors this could open for institutional and traditional investors. For years, XRP supporters have been waiting for a breakthrough moment, and this feels like one of those times when history is being written in front of our eyes. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiteboard Crypto Update. In today's video, we will talk about XRP future. So be sure to stay focused, as you surely don't want to miss out on this. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. Please remember this is not a financial advice video. Now, here's what just happened. Grayscale, one of the most well-known digital asset managers in the world, is launching its large-cap fund. And the important detail is that this fund actually includes XRP. This is not speculation, it's real, and it's happening immediately. Starting tomorrow, investors will be able to gain exposure to XRP through this regulated investment vehicle. For anyone unfamiliar, Grayscale is a massive player in the crypto world, and whenever they make a move, it sends a message to the rest of Wall Street. Their inclusion of XRP is a powerful signal that this digital asset is gaining more recognition and legitimacy in the broader financial system. But Grayscale isn't the only one making headlines. Just today, the Osprey XRP ETF also went live. Osprey isn't as large or as influential as Grayscale, but it's still an established institution, and their move matters because it introduces XRP into the portfolios of traditional investors who prefer ETFs instead of direct crypto purchases. Think about this. Advisors, wealth managers, and even everyday stock investors who may never have touched a crypto exchange now have an easier and safer entry point into XRP. That means new streams of capital, new inflows, and potentially a surge of demand over time. This is bigger than just one product. The Osprey ETF is a kind of preview of what's coming next. The real fireworks are expected later this year, particularly in October, when much larger institutions that have already filed for XRP-related funds may finally get their approvals. And don't forget the possibility of a BlackRock ETF filing. If that happens, we're not just talking about millions flowing into XRP, we're talking about billions. For a digital asset that has long been at the center of legal battles, regulatory uncertainty, and skepticism, this shift in institutional interest could mark the beginning of a completely new chapter. To give you an example of how this resonates with real investors, let me share a quick story. A close friend of mine, someone I grew up with who has been involved in the stock market for years but only recently stepped into digital assets, just went all in on the Osprey XRP ETF. He isn't a crypto day trader, he's a traditional investor who understands stocks, funds, and long-term value. And yet the moment he saw that he could access XRP through a regulated ETF, he didn't hesitate. He invested heavily. That, to me, illustrates exactly why this matters. ETFs are a familiar vehicle for traditional investors. They trust the structure, they understand how it works, and they don't have to worry about wallets, private keys, or complicated exchanges. Now imagine thousands, even millions of similar investors being introduced to XRP in the same way. Instead of wondering how to use a crypto wallet, they can just log into their brokerage accounts, click a few buttons, and add XRP exposure to their portfolios. That's the game changer. When institutions open the door, money doesn't just trickle in, it floods in. And with each new fund, with each new approval, the foundation for larger and more sustained price growth gets stronger. Let's connect this back to sentiment in the XRP community. There has been an ongoing discussion about when XRP could realistically hit $100. Some believe it's possible this year, others think within the next 2 or 3 years, and a large portion argue it's inevitable within the next 5 years. The overwhelming majority agree that it's not a question of if XRP reaches $100, but when. From my perspective, with institutional products like these ETFs going live, the timeline could accelerate much faster than many anticipate. And here's why. ETFs provide legitimacy. They give financial advisors confidence to recommend XRP to clients. They provide regulated, insured custody solutions that remove the fear of hacks or mismanagement. They reduce the barrier to entry for everyday investors who want exposure to crypto without needing to learn the ins and outs of blockchain technology. In short, ETFs make XRP accessible, and accessibility drives adoption. Adoption then drives demand, and demand, especially institutional demand, has the power to move prices in ways that retail buying alone never could. Even beyond Grayscale and Osprey, we're already seeing movement in related areas. Investors are switching platforms, moving from high-fee services to those offering institutional-grade custody at lower costs. This tells us that people aren't just interested in holding XRP, they're looking for efficient, professional, long-term solutions to manage their exposure. The same mindset will carry over into ETFs, where liquidity is higher, regulation is tighter, and costs are generally more transparent. So what happens next? Well, as these products roll out and larger players start coming on board, the spotlight on XRP is only going to get brighter. The market will begin to recognize XRP not just as a speculative asset, but as a serious digital asset that has a role in the financial system. And remember, institutions don't typically buy small, they buy big. When that capital arrives, the effects could be dramatic. To sum it all up, this is not just another piece of news in the XRP timeline. The launch of XRP ETFs marks a turning point. It represents a bridge between the old world of traditional finance and the new world of digital assets. It offers a regulated, trusted, and familiar pathway for investors who have been waiting on the sidelines. And with Grayscale, Osprey, and potentially BlackRock and others entering the picture, XRP could be heading toward levels that many people still underestimate. If you're an XRP holder, this is the type of moment you've been waiting for. The dominoes are starting to fall, and institutional money is lining up at the door. The question now isn't just whether XRP will rise, but how quickly and how high it will climb once this wave of capital enters the market. Well, guys, that's all we have for you today. What are your thoughts on XRP? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching.